European leaders are expected to discuss Donald Trump's latest tariff threats as they gather today in Brussels for a meeting on defence. As Canada and Mexico grapple with the imminent imposition of trade levies from Washington, the EU is now braced for similar tariffs coming its way, particularly after Trump called the EU, quote, an atrocity.
It will definitely happen with the European Union, I can tell you that, because they've really taken advantage of us. And, you know, we have over a $300 billion deficit. They don't take our cars, they don't take our farm products, they take almost nothing, and we take everything from them. But the European Union it's an atrocity.
The EU's top foreign policy representative, Kaja Kallas, warned of the consequences of any possible trade war between the European Union and the US.
We were listening carefully to those words, and of course we are preparing also on our side. But what is clear, there are no winners in trade wars. If United States and the US start the trade war, then the one laughing on the side is China. We are very interlinked. We need America, and America needs us as well. The tariffs increase costs. They are not good for the jobs, not good for the customers either. That is clear.
And our correspondent, Lucia Schulten, is at the EU gathering in Brussels. There, Lucia, a strong response from the EU's top diplomat there. What else have leaders been saying about the threatened tariffs?
Yeah, when leaders were coming in here, nearly all said that this is a bad idea. So this was more or less the tone we heard here. So we heard clearly from German Chancellor Scholz that imposing tariffs would be a bad idea for the European Union, but also for the United States. And at the same time, leaders have been making a point for European strengths. So we have heard, for example, from Luxembourgish Prime Minister Luc Frieden that the European Union is as strong as the United States, and they're trying to, show that they are ready and that they're strong. But at the same time, and I think this is also important to say, leaders have also been saying that they want to cooperate with the United States, and that, the United States and the European Union are the biggest trading partners also when you count investment in. So this is really important for European leaders to make the point they still want to negotiate, and if needed, they're ready to retaliate. This would be on the European Commission, who's competent for this, and the European Commission has also been saying and stating for a while now that it is prepared to retaliate, but this is seen as a last resort here in the European Union.
Lucia, briefly, please, what are the industries that could be hit?
So this will really depend on if there are tariffs coming, how they would actually look like. It is very likely that there will be the industries where most of the exports are going from the European Union to the United States. And in the past, this has been machinery and vehicles, but also chemicals. So I'm sure that there are a lot of industries which are producing these goods, looking at what is happening right now very closely.
DW's Lucia Schulten in Brussels there, thank you. And we are now joined by Inga Fechner. She's senior economist for Germany and global trade at the ING Bank and joins us from Frankfurt. Now, the EU has warned that it will respond firmly if it becomes a target of US tariffs. What would be an appropriate European response?
Well, the European Union has several options. First of all, they could rather tend to negotiate and buy more US LNG. They could buy more military equipment. They could also step up their defense spending. So it's now 2% of GDP, but Trump said it should be 5% of GDP. So they could do a bit more there. But if that fails, then the EU has made it quite clear that they would retaliate. They also did retaliate last time. So in Trump's first administration, they did target several goods such as whiskey, bourbon, agricultural products, corn. orange juice, Harley-Davidson motorcycles, or levies jeans. So it is quite likely that they would go ahead and target those goods once again. The question, of course, always is, we do have 27 different countries within the EU. So can they really stick together? Can they really work together? Can they really unite themselves and work together? Or can Trump target individual countries and has some leverage there?
Now, Trump has claimed the following about the EU. As we've heard, they don't take our cars, they don't take our farm products, they take almost nothing and we take everything from them. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, it is fair in the sense that the European Union does run large trade surpluses with the US. So it means that they export more to the US than they import from the US. In fact, the US market is the most important export destination for Europe. So 1/5 of all European exports go to the US. It's predominantly pharmaceutical products, medicaments, and then, of course, cars. But the European Union also does get lots of oil and gas and also pharmaceutical products from the US. But of course, they do have this trade surplus, and nations with a large pharmaceutical or chemical sector, such as Belgium and Ireland, and then also nations with a large transport and machinery sector, such as Slovakia and Germany, they will be in the immediate firing line.
Now, the stock market has already taken a hit. How badly do you think a US-EU trade war would hit the global economy?
Well, it would be quite devastating for sure. So if we would see a full-blown trade escalation, especially since it's not just about the EU and US, but also US targeting its closest allies, Canada, Mexico, then going against China and potentially going against BRICS, lots of other countries. So if we would see a full-blown trade war all around the world, then that would have devastating consequences for GDP growth. It would probably push several economies into recession.
Now, you said earlier that Europe must stand united against any possible tariffs from the US. But you also said that that Trump would try and target individual countries. What countries would he target and how?
So probably the car sector. So here, of course, Germany would be in the firing line because Germany does export cars to the US, although many companies already do have production facilities in either Mexico or the US. There are still lots of cars still going to the US market here from Europe. So he might go after cars. Not all European countries do produce cars. So it always remains to be seen whether they can then unite and say, okay, it's not just about cars, but he's really threatening the European Union. He's threatening all of us. So there we do need to be careful that it's about, let's say, the common cause and not just going after individual countries and not looking only for the own interests, but have the common European interest at heart.
Now, during his first term in the White House, Trump did slap duties on European steel and aluminium. Are there any lessons that can be learned?
I think the lesson that the EU should have learned, but that it really didn't that much, is to unite and to act together. So they did retaliate, and then ultimately the tariffs were scrapped. In March, they are up for revision. So those steel and aluminium tariffs and the retaliatory tariffs could be back in March. I think it shows that if the European Union can form a close ally, then they also can defeat Trump. But of course, it remains to be seen what Trump really wants and how he will respond and how the EU then responds as well.
Inga Fechner, there, economist at the ING Bank in Frankfurt. Thank you very much, Inga.
Thank you.